Hi, it's Maggie and Maggie at Minnie the Minx UK on YouTube and The Captain. Today we want to show you how to make these things in our lanterns. You can hang them up, sit them on your mantle, it's exactly up to yourself whatever you do, and you could decorate every edge with them. And inside, I hope you can see that, inside there's a little square replica of this one, and I've put a little tea light in it. It's a LED tea light, so it can light up at night. It's actually very pretty. Now, to actually make it, there's a lot of work in making it, getting this lattice. It's a Moroccan lattice lattice dye by Desire, I think it's how you pronounce it on this, and once you run it through your machine, etc., it's 2 bits. That's in the middle. You need to snip it off with pliers or something like that in the corner, and just be careful you don't waste your dye, because this bit you need if you're going to make the square in the middle. Now this is obviously used for a card, but I decided to do a little twist on it and make this type of lantern, and I've also made, I'll show you in a minute, sorry if I put that way, and I've also made the triangle one. I've not glued the top on the triangle one because I wanted to show you what was inside it, and with the square, I made a square inside. With the triangle, if I can get it out, I've made a triangle thing in the middle. So again, you would just glue the top down to fit, and this little thing is being made out of obviously this square, and it's only 3 of them, and I've decided to put a dragonfly on mine. I've not put a candle in. It would be really up to yourself. You could take that out, or you could just fit your lead candle inside it, inside the bottom. I've also thought about doing, you could have this in it and maybe have a little butterfly sitting on the top. I do have the dye for the cage and the bird, not butterfly, sorry, the cage and the bird, and you could have a little bird sitting inside it, or a butterfly. It really is up to yourself. I just wanted to show you, and then you could slip it in at the side because it would fit in there, or at the top. It just sits inside like so, and once that was glued down you could actually hang it to something. Just trying to give you another idea. Also from that same die, which is this, I made a little card. It's very simple card. Trellis on the top, so when you're cutting it out, putting it through your machine, it would come out something like this, like that. And trim it down, etc. Place that on top of whatever desired paper that you had for your card, and you could maybe stick a little flower or something on top. Handmade flower, my usual. I'll show you later on how to quickly do the flower if you want, and it's actually pretty. Or you could put a picture, a photograph of someone inside there, or a sentiment. So I've just did this one earlier, our love grows stronger every day, and you could maybe do it on a 3D type thing and just gently put it in the middle, something like that. It's actually quite pretty, but the flower I thought was actually nice on here if you had it like that as your card. Be pretty. Also, a different type of card from this same die is one like this. So is chopping your paper, you get 2 out in A4, cutting it down long ways, scoring it across the middle, and then using the front one to put your die in, obviously like that, your paper down in your machine, that on top, your clear pads on the top, and crank it through your machine. Now, I use my Sizzix Big Shot, but I'm sure any of your machines should work as long as it fits this die. The tricky part of it is that you then have to poke through all the little bits on this to get this nice trellisy shape here. And what I thought was really nice was I've just stuck a thank you on the back, stuck that there, so when you open it up you can put your sentiment inside. But you could put a picture of someone, again you could have the flower inside there, which would be very pretty. And if you've noticed, I've actually put little gems on there. Now I actually thought about doing that on this, on the lantern, and you could actually go around the lantern just on these ones and up the side there because these are all sort of matching it, and you could go right round it. If these were getting done for weddings, for party, for a birthday, for an anniversary, anything, you just do it to your theme. But those little gems would look really pretty on there, you know, maybe in silver or whatever your colours are. Mine's is pink and white, obviously, in this one, on that white being the main colour. And also from the same die, the Desire Moroccan Lattice, I came up with this idea as well. And basically it's a little box to hold a card. So, and I've just put two dragonflies cut out, put through my little machine, stuck the two of them together, and you could put a little diamante in the middle. Now that's really pretty in here, because the base of the box, very easy to do. You would obviously glue this bit together. As I was using this for a card, you wouldn't snip out these sides. You would only snip out a little bit and glue the two of them together, but I'm just showing you as quickly on this. And put your card inside, stick the top of your card on top. You could put more than one inside. If you were doing a pack, if there were slim cards, you could do a pack, maybe, I don't know, if you made your sides, that's an inch there, but if you made that wider, you could fit more cards inside. But how pretty is that? So that's like a gift in itself, and you open it up and there's your pretty card inside. So various ideas how to use this trellis, but the lantern, the square lantern, is what I want you to focus on and show you how to do. And I'll be as quick as I can going through it. I'm just checking to make sure that's the whole video, and it is. So you start off, obviously you need your die, 2 bits. If you're using the Big Cut Pro, put your clear pad down, stick this on top, clear pad on top, and crank it through. And you will come out with, you do that 4 times. Now, A4 sheet of paper, chop it in half first, and once you put it through your machine, there's one, just like that. Right, that's one cut through. Now, on it, though, you'll find that because it's went through like that, that bit here will still be attached. You then need to put it back through with your little die on top. When you crank it through, that will come off, and you'll be left with this little border going round, right? And then you need either a pokey tool or something that's got a sharp edge on it. And I use this, I got this for doing embossing way back. It was in a set, and I used this tool to use, and I use the thin and the other end. And what I find is it's very easy to poke through all the wee bits. I actually kept them, they were crosses on there. I kept the crosses, but all the rest of the bits I got rid of. And obviously I found that, well, initially when I first got it, I was poking out all the bits of the actual die every time, but I actually found you can actually get 3 or 4 goes with this before you need to poke out all the wee bits. So, and then on your bit paper as well, just go around it, and you know, if you've got the time, it's actually worth it. So once you've got, same goes with this one. Now, if you're doing a triangle one, obviously you only need 3. Obviously, if it's the square lantern, you need 4. So once you've got your 4 bits like this, as I said, it was A4 paper, cut in half, and then place your die in the centre of that. Now, what I decided to do was, I tried two different ways, and you'll notice on these, on the triangle, I've left an inch going all the way around, right around the edge, and so wherever the die finished, I left an inch, and then I scored, and then I left an inch on the other side. So, but on the square, I decided I wasn't doing that. On the square, I found, because I tried it both ways, I found that wherever the die edge finished, that is where I scored. I scored it exactly all the way around on each of the 4 bits, but I left an inch right around it. So there was a score line, then there was an inch, and then I cut off the excess paper. And I found with the square it worked better. But on the triangle, I found that where the score line is, what I found was I left an inch, then I scored it, then I left another inch. And I found that this line going round was actually pretty on the triangle, but it wasn't, I didn't like it on the square. For some reason, when you were folding it in together, etc., it didn't work very well. So, anyway, so once you've got your 4 bits like that, right, then you're going to, there's score lines on there right along the edge. So get your bone folder, and I'm just checking the right side, and fold them all. You do this on all four. I've did the rest of them. I'm just doing one in front of you to let you see. Now, sometimes if your paper, this is card, so it's quite thick, so you just need to take your time and make sure you get it on the proper score line. Reason for that is when you go to glue them all together, if it's not exactly even, some of your bits can get a bit bumpy when you're gluing it, etc., and it might not be even at the top on each of the sides for joining. So just take a few seconds and try and get it right, and it'll work out better in the end. Now I've tried thinner paper, but I've decided on my lanterns I quite like this thick one. So you score around the edges, and what you'll find is on the corners there'll be a little square on there. I hope you can see that on every corner. You need to cut these squares out, because when you start to join them together it's too thick and they won't bend. The corner bits won't bend. So all you're doing is cutting out all the squares on that. Very simple. You'll see that. Cut out the squares. So just quickly do that to show you. This is so when you're attaching it to the next one to make the lantern, it should join better. Right. So I've done. So that's your 4 squares done. And then what you're doing is, I've already attached the other 3, but I've attached the other 3. If this was my first one, what I would be doing is attaching that to this. Now you can tell on the paper what's the inside and what's the outside. The outside's what's going to be shown, it's the nice part. And you're basically just lining them up, and obviously I got told to use Mod Podge glue, and apparently it's the strongest, but I have to be honest with you, I made these ones out of Anita's tacky glue, and I've also been told that just because I had it in the house and I'm going to use it up, but I also got told that the multi-purpose glue works just as fine for putting these things together, and to be honest with you, it's a lot cheaper than Mod Podge. But it's up to you. It's up to you what you buy. I wouldn't recommend double-sided tape on this. I actually think it would fall apart as time went on, so I would use a wet glue. So all you're doing is getting your sides, joining them up, and make sure they're even. I mean, if you've cut them out, they should be even on either side. I'm not going to glue it for you. All I've done is attach this with clips just now, just to quickly show you, to put it together. And I want to show you, the reason for that was, I want to show you these edges. So when it's in like that, you can feel it. It's not going to fold properly until you snip these edges. So you have to snip them at a slant. And if you do it at a slant while they're in it, like that, and you've clipped them together, you will find that the joins will fold much easier. So all you're doing is snipping. If you can do it from there to the end at a slanted bit, and you do it that side, and you can see now that if I go to fold, I mean, if they were properly glued together, etc., that would fold better together. But there you go. I have to do the insides of this, and the insides become quite tricky when you try and fold it together like that, and you're trying to do it. It's quite difficult from this side, but I'm going to just, just to show you just now, I'm going to quickly clip it in. Now, once you glue these, I would put 3 clips on them, one at either side and one in the middle, just to hold it together to let the glue dry, to save your fingers, because either that you'd be holding them with your hands and it might take a little while to glue properly. Now, because I've not cut up the top of this edge, you can see it's bending a little, but there you go anyway. So this is the kind of look we're looking for, and at the tops you would fold them down. So my bottoms, because I've just pinned mine all together, but you can see it's starting to take shape on it. So next would be your top and your bottom. What I've done is I've cut out 2 squares, and 2 squares would be the same size. I reckon 4 inches and for your square on the top, and 4 inches for the one on the bottom. So I've got one here, you would just glue that. I don't know if that's big enough, well it should be. You would glue it around the edges on your bottom, glue that with wet glue, stick it down and leave it to dry. When you do the top, it's the exact same, it should be the exact same size. If it's all matching and you've managed to fit it, sometimes you need to tweak it here and there, and don't worry about that. This was part of the reason I left this one. The triangle on the top, I think that was about 4 inches, and when I sat it on the top, I can notice that it's just slightly over. But what I would suggest was once you glue it down and it's all dried, just tip it upside down, put it on your cutting pad and cut round the wee bits that are maybe bigger, because these type of things happen. Not always do you get it perfect, but what you can easily cut them off with a sharp blade or something and have it perfect. So anyway, for the top, same again, you've got your little square. To make, I've popped a bit of ribbon through it. A foam pad comes in handy if you've got one, and again a pokey tool or something like that, something sharp. I use the sharp end of this embossing tool, and if you place it on your pad, find the centre, you can measure it out, it's exactly up to yourself. Pop it down through and use your other end to make the hole slightly larger. Then cut yourself the desired colour of ribbon. I've used pink because it's matching pink and white on this lantern, and all you're doing is poking both sides through, tying a double knot to make sure it's a double knot on the top, and that gets placed on top, and that would be it. Glued down, glued down once you've done your centrepiece. Now on the centrepiece, I've actually glued that one down to hold it in place in the square lantern, but basically all you're doing is taking 4 of these bits, which was the smaller die cut, and when you poke out that middle bit, you can keep that for a separate project because it's actually a lovely shape, so it can come in handy for something else. So 4 of these together, you poked out all your wee bits, and again, all you're doing is gluing the edges. Now as you can see, there's not much of an edge, but I managed to do it with Anita's tacky glue. I'm sure you could do it. Just take your time, put glue on the edges and attach them and make a square. And when you've made the square, either put it in at the top like that, or you could fit it sideways. I would actually keep the lid off. Place it in. I actually stuck a glue dot on the bottom once it was all dry, and I've put in my tea light, little tea light at night. As you can see, it's very pretty in there. But again, you could use a bird. You could put bird in a cage, or just sit it on the top, or as I love, 2 butterflies. This die cut here, this die cut is the butterfly die cut, and all you're doing is running it through your machine, whatever machine you've got, Sussex, V-Sidekick, whatever, and it comes out like this. But you again have to use your pokey tool, whatever you've got, to poke all the wee bits out. And when it's like that, fold it at the either side of the body, just either side of that if you want, to give it a 3D effect, and it then has this bit here that you can glue. Now what I normally tend to do is always put a white one in, so it's 2 colours. So, and either I put the white on the top to have that as the background, whatever the colour is, or I put it at the back so that this is the main colour, and then put a little gem. You could put glitter, a little bit of funky fibre, a button, anything, or small gems. Look really nice on it and really set a project off, is what I think. But I've got a couple of these out just now. Again, you could place them on the side just like that. Place them on the side, place them down here, and you can do it all the way around, or you could leave it plain. Any shape. You could have love hearts, you could have sit them on the top. I mean, they're just so pretty. The dragonflies here, I've got 2 dragonflies, a die cut that I've took out the dragonflies, again folded on either side, and if you could pop the white under the back like that, stick it on. Obviously maybe that's not the colour, but actually I quite like that, a lemon of yellow. Stick it on anywhere you want, or just at the side, little gemstone, 2 eyes if you wanted, 2 black dots for eyes, could really make it come to life. And as I said, little gemstones, if you put the gemstones, even just without those other things, you could put the gemstones in here. And I know these kind of things are, they take a lot of time, but I have to say they're absolutely beautiful. And with either the tea light in it, or just the actual square. If it was the triangle one, just put the triangle bit in the middle with these shapes here. Now a little tip as well is, maybe it's my pads on mine, but when they come out, mine's are a wee bit bent. So what I'd always do is, same goes with when I'm making the square, when I'm making this type of square, I actually put them under something heavy. So your cutting machine or something like that, place them underneath something, leave them for a few hours, let them flatten out, and you'll see the difference. These ones I cut earlier on and have not been flattened yet, and these ones have, and I can see the difference. These ones are very flat and they'll be easy when you go to glue, whereas these ones are a wee bit twisted and just need something heavy, a book or something on top. So that's the lanterns. I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you understand. I know I've been saying it pretty fast, but you get a great idea what you can make out of this die, I think it's how it's pronounced, Moroccan lattice die. Mine's cost $14.50, by the way. I got out a local craft shop in Linlithgow, Scotland. So Linlithgow, West Lothian, Scotland. Hobbycraft, etc. I think do them. It's a metal die, and as I said, it comes in 2 bits. So have fun doing them. I mean, how pretty is that? So right, so that's that. What I want to say today is, I'm not sure if you can see it, I'm wearing my Savage Cut tee, and it's homemade. I made it myself. They gave me permission. I never do a gig top unless I get permission, and the guys, well, were fine about it. Or that's what I'm telling you. Anyway, what I want to let you know is, this is Savage Cut, the new band. Some of the members have been in previous bands and they've got together, and this is some of their stuff that they've got going. They're actually, I'm just checking that's still videoing, they're actually had quite a few plays on the radio and in America as well as Tayside, etc. And this was custom made music in the USA, and it was on the June sampler 2015. There's 10 bands on here, front and back, and Savage Cut are number 2, I Can Kill You With My Brain. Brilliant track, and obviously this is something else that they got done. Apparently America, USA again, love cassettes. Now, I remember cassettes, I'm in my 40s, so yes, I remember them, but you young ones might not. But anyway, there's 2 songs on this, I Can Kill You With My Brain and Take It from Savage Cut, and it's very cute. For me, it is a keepsake, and it gives you the names of the guys in the band. There's Brian Kiernan on guitar, John Innes on bass, Liam Innes on drums, and Gaz Davis on guitar, and that's my hubby, so I'm giving them their quote, giving them a mention, sorry. So please check them out. They're on Reverb Nation, and they've also got their Savage Cut page. And also, I have a couple of their vids on my page, so if you're on mine, you'll see other videos of other bands, but please look them up, and it'd be great if you could give them a like. It's always great to support local bands and the smaller bands. So thank you, and I hope you like them. Bye!